White Walker perpetuated offenses are considered especially heinous. In Westeros, 4 dedicated friends investigate and discuss these vicious episodes as members of an elite squad known as A Podcast Has No Name. I'm Ambush.
What are we trying?
You're trying to say your name, and it's just, I'm Castro.
I'm Castro.
And I'm Morgan. And then we are A Podcast Has No Name. Today we have
Ken Jones.
and we are discussing the movie Us.
Yes.
I left my dragon egg down and I messed it up. I messed up the song.
Okay.
Also, I feel like that song is better served.
Left my dragon egg down at Esso.
No.
Left
How are you
my
going to
dragon
do?
egg down
No.
at Esso.
No.
Left my
No.
dragon
I'm vetoing
egg
the
down
song.
at Esso.
I'm vetoing the
I gotta
song.
get it. Got to get it.
Castro.
Left my dragon egg down. What?
Hey.
How can you listen? It's a podcast that has no name, so granted we can do anything we want to do. But why would you sing a song that's Game of Thrones related when we're discussing Us?
Left my dragon egg down at Esso. Left my dragon egg down at Esso. I got to get it. Got to get it. All right, what are we talking about tonight?
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
We're going to talk about Jordan Peele's latest movie that he wrote, produced, and directed.
Hello.
Nosotros?
Yes.
Us.
Yeah.
So, IMDb summary. Accompanied by her husband, son, and daughter, Adelaide Wilson returns to the beachfront home where she grew up as a child. Haunted by a traumatic experience from the past, Adelaide grows increasingly concerned that something bad is going to happen. Her worst fears soon become a reality when 4 masked strangers descend upon the house, forcing the Wilsons into a fight for survival. When the mask comes off, the family is horrified to learn that each attacker takes the appearance of one of them.
It's pretty effing dope. Before we even get
And
started,
they didn't all wear masks.
Yes.
IMD wrong.
okay.
One wore mask.
Fair.
Before we get started, I
IMDb
want to
wrong.
thank our special guests. I want to thank you guys for joining us today.
Yes.
Hey.
There are plenty of things you could have been doing this Sunday afternoon. Yeah.
He said a ton.
A ton.
All kind of stuff.
Real quick, this is not for bragging rights, but how many times has everyone seen the film?
Oh. I see what this is.
Two kills.
Castro.
Oh, seen this?
Yeah,
seen
us.
Us?
Yeah.
Oh, I just recently saw it. Was that yesterday or Friday? So I only
Okay.
saw one so far. But I've been watching. I don't know if this counts, but you know how I get. I've watched so
You know it
many
doesn't count.
behind the scenes.
Yes, of course it
63
doesn't.
things you missed. All of the breakdown videos I've watched numerous times.
So
And,
there were some things that were unique to our viewing experience the first time around. We did have the advanced passes. We saw it on Tuesday. It was extremely packed, and some of us had to sit in patio furniture. That's how packed it was in the theater.
Was it the cushion kind?
Nope.
No,
It
it's
was
the
this
exact
kind.
chair I'm sitting in right now.
Oh.
Iron patio
now,
furniture.
I want to ask you
Good
this,
ask.
Sam.
Yeah.
I think it is.
It's the
that.
exact same one.
I'm sorry,
ahead,
Castro.
Castro.
One more time.
No, I wanted to ask y'all that because sometimes I think it can affect how we experience a movie. The fact that the theater or the place was packed, did that maybe influence you liking the movie with, a lot of audience participation? It's a little bit more rowdy. It's early. You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't any of those
influence anyone?
things other than packed.
Yeah, there was
Okay,
no.
good. Okay.
There wasn't any audience participation until the second time we
second
watched
viewing
it, and
had
which was
some
extremely
jarring.
funny and jarring the way some of that played out. Yeah. The first time I think everyone was just on pins and needles, waiting to see what Jordan Peele was going to give us, and we were dead silent throughout that film. Like, yeah, jam packed but dead silent. Like, yeah, that was it. Stomach and knots. Ken, you said when you first saw it, the theater wasn't packed.
Nah.
Okay.
There might have been, my tops, 30 people.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was a 10 o'clock Thursday show and 10 p.m.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, that was-
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Castro, what day did you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
What
God.
day did you first see it on?
He gets up so
And drove
early.
to Seattle.
So my plan was it was interesting. My plan was to try to catch it Friday after work, and since I'm sometimes going to the theater. It's really close to where I live. Like just walking and been denied because it sells out sometimes with certain stuff. So I said, let me go online and order it. And I couldn't find. I took somebody with me. I couldn't find 2 seats together. So I pushed it to Saturday morning, 10 o'clock. So I watched it like 10 a.m. on Saturday.
And how was the theater then?
As usual, it doesn't seem packed at first, and then everybody kind of files in, and then you notice just the first 3 rows up front are empty. So you look around, and so I would say mine was like three quarters. I'd say 3/4 full.
Okay, so we saw it again last night, and the first theater we went to, we got there maybe 10 minutes before before that showing, and it was sold out. Mm-hmm. And then the following show, half an hour later, it was 8 o'clock we went to. The 8:30 only had one. Only had 1 seat remaining. So then we had to go to a completely different theater. We caught the 8:45, and it wasn't sold out.
No, it wasn't full.
Yeah, it wasn't full, but it started to fill up. As the trailers were rolling, and then but it wasn't full. But they're saying it's doing pretty good numbers though.
Yeah, they're saying it's doing great numbers. And
it's
so
70 million over.
We're noticing
I think the
day after is not full, but people still catching up. It's like, there's a little word of mouth going. So whoever didn't rush down there on Friday probably caught it today or yesterday.
Well, and it opened officially Thursday, right? That
Really?
was the
Thursday.
official.
I thought that.
Because they add that now, that Thursday.
Yeah, they add that one in.
Midnight.
That's
something new, y'all. That's something new maybe the last 2 years. They never released the track. And they didn't give that many advanced screenings to be one pop-up hill. It wasn't so across the nation is like hundreds of people watching it early or at midnight. So they added that.
Right. So this says as of today, Us has grossed $70.3 million in the United States and Canada and $16.7 million in other territories for a worldwide total of $87 million against a production budget of $20 million.
Wow. And I'm curious to see.
Oh, and it only took them 20 to make that? Nice.
Right.
That's dope.
Nice.
That's dope.
That's a lot of hard.
Run my money.
Yeah.
That's a lot of hard acting there to be able to pull that off.
20 million. Come on, man.
But there's not a lot of special effects.
Yeah.
True.
That's what I'm saying. That's all the acting.
Yeah.
Right.
Really?
Did not know that.
What? I missed that. What?
He said cheapest genre to produce is horrors and thrillers. Did not know that.
Oh.
Right.
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 Yeah, I feel like
interesting. I wonder if that's just. I mean, most horror movies are scoped pretty. Like you don't get too far. in horror
Right.
movies. So I think like one location, maybe a bottle part of the movie, a trap somewhere, you're trying to get out, that type of shit. So
Yeah.
I think that helps.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people die. So I guess
Yes.
think about it. Like you got to pay somebody for a full movie. I'm pretty sure that horror movies have prorated contracts. Now look, you're only going to be here about 10 minutes. One day of shooting, by mid, you're gone. So like we got to talk this money.
Right.
They get in the union hourly rate.
I think something that they do, and being that this is his second film, it's the composition of shots. Like that's the thing I paid attention to. Of course, just any movie I watch, but the way that they were able to set things up and play the tricks with where your focus was at, as opposed to what was happening off here, there.
Yeah.
Just that was great in the colors. Whoever the
colors.
that was.
I think the art of lighting black people is finally like coming to like master level.
Definitely.
Light on.
You have black people making movies with black actors in it.
Right.
It matters to get the lighting right, and they know how to. They know that's important.
Yeah. They nailed it.
Like the opening scene with her in the mirror house, that blue that they do on dark skinned people now.
Yeah.
That shit is awesome. I love that. It looks so great. It
Shout
gives
out
you,
Billy.
you know what I'm saying? It's clear.
That was the belly shout out.
Keisha from Belly. Yeah. Belly, yo. That's probably a masterclass in black film.
Right.
All right.
It probably
Belly,
is.
101.
Hella right.
Sit your ass down. Now, this is what we gonna do. You know what I'm saying?
That lighting also worked to make it completely terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, baby,
Exactly.
do you understand you're walking into a house of mirrors right now? Like, it just, go ahead.
Can I make a point?
Yeah.
That is just the worst idea in any horror movie.
Yes.
Walk in some. I just want to put that out there.
Walk into anywhere
Enter
from
a house
out
of
somewhere.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even Bruce Lee went into a house of mirrors and got fucked up. It's not a good place. All right. It doesn't end well for anybody. You
No.
don't know where. Remember, she's trying to run to the exit, smash
Yeah.
her head. Like, just get out of here, walk back.
He was getting tore up. Game of Death was getting tore up. So
Hold the fuck up.
there was a scene when I'm still continuing with the lighting conversation before we jump into the characters, but there was a scene in the house when the families were opposite each other, and I could barely make out Abraham's face.
Yes.
And I was happy about that because it was like, this is what dark-skinned people look like in dark lighting. Don't try to do anything with the composition to compensate for that. It was like, this is just what we look like.
Right.
It was a low to high shot, and he had a full beard as opposed to Gabe didn't have that full beard, all that stuff.
There was no unnatural attempt in the lighting to try to compensate for it. Like, no, the whole family's dark skinned, y'all. With the lights off, this is what it's going to look like.
Right.
That's it. Like, get used to it. Like it or love it. So, I loved it. That was great. Sorry, let's jump into the character breakdowns. I'm going to save Red for last. Everybody agree with that? Can we save Red for last? Let's jump into Gabe Abraham. What you guys think?
I'm gonna jump in right because I could not unsee Jordan Peele the whole time. I feel like that was soon. It was like, just throw all this on him and throw him in there. That's all I saw. So I kept kind of popping in and out of being in the character just because I kept seeing Peele. So I just wanted to throw that out there because that's been on my mind.
Yeah, that's a what they call him, a Howard dad.
Yeah.
That's a Howard dad.
That's a Howard dad.
And
nailed it.
And raising a kid, a teenage girl, right now, where I think I'm hilarious.
Oh man, we're the funniest, bro.
Only about 10% of the time does it resonate with my crowd.
Right.
Meaning her.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And
you're the
gold.
You're the corniest to her.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's gold.
Farthest thing from it.
Yeah.
Right.
Farthest thing from it.
Right. Yeah. You know, thank you, brother.
Somebody
See?
said on Twitter, when do you know it's a dad joke? Like, when you're living your life and you make jokes and then you all of a sudden start making dad jokes. They said when it's obvious.
That was some MC and comedic timing right there.
Yeah, there it was. There it is.
Found it.
Oh, that's terrible and true. Yes.
Oh. Okay. Using Abraham. I don't want to go. What's my phrase, Mark?
You don't want to jump ahead.
Right.
I don't want to jump ahead, but I also follow this. I don't know. I don't think I'm categorizing him, but he's a homosexual critic in the sense that he always fights for gender rights, and he's always talking about the feminist angle, but he's a man. And he said that using Abe and Gabe, that us is this direct critique of men not being fit to lead.
Oh.
I saw something like that.
Oh yeah,
the way they made him kind of
him?
bumbling and the comedic, but he's good, but he's still the bumbling. And then the moment when she said, "You are not in charge anymore,"
right.
Well,
pretty heavy-handed. So that's something for y'all to think about. This movie is also a critique about men not being fit to lead.
I think that.
What you got?
I don't know that I would give it. Yeah, I don't know that.
More of a nod to the role that the black female plays in the head of the household, just as a man does, and you can do it as well. Not to say that a man can't lead, but they're pretty important in the role of the household as a black family. And I thought that was phrased really well in that movie.
Yeah.
Well, taking this perspective, going a little further. I can't remember the name of the movie. My God, you remember that movie? They remade it where the guys are wearing all white and they invade a home and they terrorize that family.
The Strangers?
Called,
they don't.
No, it's not Strange. Do y'all know what I mean? Y'all know the movie? I'm talking
Clockwork
about?
Orange?
No, it's not Clockwork Orange. It's like a situation. What is it called? But anyway,
cool.
I'll figure out the name. I'll look it up while we're talking. But the way they incapacitate the husband first brought me back to this movie. Like, he takes the bat and hits him in the leg first to make him a little more infirm. And then of course, the wife has to step up, as she almost always does. But I think that's when you want to break a family down, traditionally, white, black, purple, or otherwise, you want to take the husband down a peg first, if not take him out. And we've seen many of movies when a woman, jumps to the front. Sometimes there is a male at first trying to lead and trying to handle things, and they get taken out pretty quick because it's it's strategy and shit. Like, you know, he's limping the whole movie, which I appreciated. I appreciated that his knee didn't get like that much better for him to be running and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I just wanted to talk about that.
Was there anything else about the Abraham Gabe character performance anybody wanted to jump into before we go to the next person?
I thought it was a cheap death. I thought it was cheap.
Cheap?
Sorry. The way he killed.
Oh, the way he killed his doppelganger.
That was the first tether that died, and the way he headbutted the motor, it was clever in hindsight, but I thought it was kind of cheap. I didn't understand their physiology at that point in the movie, so I didn't know if you could just kill them regularly or not. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that was just me though. I thought it was a little cheap.
I think it was like our first batch of some true gore, like
Right.
that blood splattered everywhere, and both times we watched it, the reaction, everybody was like, "Oh."
What was he doing with Gabe anyway? Can anybody answer that? What was he about to do with him?
He was about to just toss him overboard. Yeah.
So okay, because I felt like Red's whole thing was to torture her family of doppelgangers as opposed to everybody else just killing theirs. Upon
It was
arrival.
more drawn out. It definitely was.
Yeah. Okay. But also, I want to give Winston Duke before we move on. I know I'm talking a lot. I'm sorry, y'all. A commendation because I think this role helps just smash his stereotype of people thinking he could just do M'Baku, from Black Panther. Like he's doing the doty. He's doing the doty husband,
Right.
Trying to help, doing well, joking to relieve tension, but he's also playing Abraham, this brutal beast who's not dumb. That's what I liked about the tether. They weren't stupid, but just the way they were, giving orders and communicating. So I think this will help him just get roles in the future. To me.
Oh, definitely. His comedy carried the film. Like
It gave you the moments to breathe every time you needed one. Like, and he was. I mean, I think I get what you mean by the doty, but like he was such a oblivious man.
nobody
Nobody
wants the boat, Dad.
He wasn't
nobody
an
wants your
oblivious
boat.
husband
Right.
or an oblivious dad. He was an oblivious man. Like as everybody's understanding, this is a life or death situation. He's like, I mean,
He came
what do you
slid in
guys
the bed,
want?
though, like-
I got some money.
He wrapped it up.
I mean, what do you need?
The way his daughter wouldn't let him off the hook. Every time he said something corny, she really rolled her eyes.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
It was like I'm the teenager in this group, and you're really not hitting it. That's not
Right. None of this hits, Dad.
And then also the dotishness or the relief for the tension was very similar to the first Cloverfield and Homeboy on the Camera.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was always like scared. He was in the moment, but he was also like, "Yo, are you here?
Right.
Wake up. Okay,
Yeah. All right. Next, let's jump into Jason Pluto,
Whew.
the son.
Ooh, there's something with him, y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going on with him, y'all.
Okay. All right.
I'll first say
Go ahead. Jump in on that.
There's a theory that a year before they go on this trip, he got switched.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Well, let's get to that in just a second.
Yeah.
Nick, you were gonna say?
I was just saying, he's my favorite character. I think the more I think about it, he just killed it. Look, all props to Lupita because she,
Of course.
It's obviously her movie and she made it, but the boy was killing it, man.
Right.
And just the whole growling, snarling, the creepy crawl, all that. It kind of told me, and I like the tether between them and the connection that they had. So that as a whole for me worked. I like Pluto.
His calmness worked.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh, yeah.
That's
kind of like waiting for him to flip though.
Right.
I was like, well, when is he about to just let it? You know what I mean? Like that's Pluto. You know what I mean? So I that character.
he said all I need to say.
So going to the one of the theories that I completely disagree with, but going to that theory you were saying, Castro, people were saying online because you're right. I've seen it a lot of places.
And then, sometimes you don't think about things until it's brought up to you. So then you're like, "Ooh, wait," But there's clearly an indication about his Pluto version not being violent. He did have animalistic tendencies, but if you notice, other than trying to set them up and blow them up, he didn't attack, bite, or hit anybody.
Wait, other than trying to blow them up, he wasn't violent.
Yeah, but think about it. Though,
He wasn't
as
hands-on.
opposed to
Right.
It wasn't direct violence.
Umbre.
He wasn't brutal.
Umbre, but as opposed to Umbre, killing a stranger, and being, she was very more active with her violence, and that also has to do with her birth and things of that nature. So there were moments where you thought and especially because I watched a video about it where he had gotten switched, burnt his face off, and he got switched, and the other one is him. And all right, so there's moments where he's not good at talking, and he can't do this magic trick that he used to do all the time, the sparking thing. He used to do it all the time, and he has a better understanding when the tether arrives. He can control his doppelganger and stuff like that. So it's thin. I think it's thin because I don't think they have time to really switch that in that he got switched to. But I love his character. I'm with it, all y'all. I really liked he's the one that said the title of the movie. It's us. He had a better grasp on the situation than a lot of them.
I think people are quick to rush to the switch explanation as to everything that was unique about that character because the switch was the huge explanation for Lupita's character. As opposed
he wore a mask.
Yeah, it's an easy out. Like, they switched too, and then they switched too. How many people switched? Chill out, everybody.
He wore masks. He built tunnels instead of castles. Like little things that made him unique. But I think, like Am was saying, his uniqueness led to him being aware and on point, as opposed to his uniqueness because he got switched. You know what I'm saying? I think that would be the easy way out.
That's the easy way to say that too. I think the idea. There's too many questions for me for how did that switch work. Like not being able to talk or the same isn't the same as knowing English and using words. Right. Those are two different things. So if he like got a stutter or something, or that'd be different. So I don't know. There's too many questions. Yeah. But I think there's a connection. I think there's a deeper connection between Jason and Pluto than maybe Abraham and Gabe. Right.
And we talked about that. You mentioned something about his age playing a factor before.
Right, because I think he was also 11 at this point in the movie. Right. And we know that Adelaide was 11. Right.
Sure.
And 11:11 runs the scripture that it runs through.
And then we also talked about the connection also possibly being a factor of him being half tethered. So the kids being half tethered. So the whole process we're talking about here is genetic cloning and different things, different traits being passed down. So it would make sense that if not both of the kids, maybe one of them, and then also age playing a factor, that he would be able to have better control and better understanding of what was going on with Pluto. So I feel like there's just more legs and more weight on that side of the argument versus it was a switch. Because everyone's saying it's a switch. Okay, but all right.
Well, Nick also brought up the point that...
Right. That's not one of the things you just leave hanging for the sake of it.
If it was a switch, you really think she's going back to that beach again?
Hello. Right. Right. If there was some traumatic event. Right. Right. And again, when did they go? You said this before, or Morgan said it. This was their first time back at the beach.
Yeah.
So where was the switch going to happen? Yeah. Like, what are we talking about? Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Yeah.
So Nick had mentioned that when you're a kid, you are more open to other things. And we see that a lot in scary movie or horror films, thrillers, that the kids are more open. They're more imaginative. They end up seeing the things that adults say couldn't be possible.
Yes, every single time. Yeah.
Even if it's just I interpreted that as even just the idea that, well, if you're the same, if I move, you'll move, right? Like an adult's gonna be.
I resisted, but I'm glad you went there. It was...
Like as an adult, you're so caught up in not understanding how you're seeing yourself, but not like that you don't go to the basic. If you're my same, then I can make you do the same thing. Wow. You know what I mean? Like I just think there was a deeper connection and add into those other things that make a part of his fate. That's a little bit different than everybody else's.
Like the sisters wasn't as strong. You kind of understand about her being a little bit older
and more detached from those type of thing, where she's not the
believing in that type of stuff. I mean, say she did know that she wouldn't,
Right.
believe in ghosts or believe in our world
Right.
stuff to where she's not open to
Well,
it.
and she did bring up the government is putting fluoride in our water,
Yeah,
right,
she's
to
into
control us.
conspiracy
Like, so
theories.
she's already into conspiracy theories, but is removed from like what that would look like. You know what I
Right,
mean?
Right. But that example really does draw a straight contrast between Jason and Gabe. As far as Jason being in that place where he could be more perceptive and more receiving of that possibility of what was actually happening.
Right.
And Gabe is just like, so if you guys want the boat, you can take the boat.
How can I make you leave? Because I really
go to
just
the ATM.
don't want you here.
Right. I could go to the ATM.
Go to the ATM. Are you family trip?
Bro,
We're just go.
do you think they all showed up in matching jumpers to go to the ATM? What is
Right.
wrong with you, brother? Like, what's happening right now?
There was a good Gabe moment. Jumping the characters when they first approached the house and there was some code switching going on. Because at first he's like, get off my property, right? With all of that shit, right? My property lines, and then that didn't work. If you want to get crazy, crazy, bro. Like, that's
All of it felt
voice drop.
right.
The cops is on day one. Yeah, that was
Every part of it
hilarious.
felt like he was code switching though. Like there was no place that was the right place for him to be.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
He didn't slide into that gracefully. That was on a smooth transition.
Right.
I'll tell you that much.
It didn't make me as uncomfortable as the Peter snapping.
None of that. All right,
And
so
first, that should have told us from the gate.
Right.
That something was
wait, save it.
You knew she was different. I knew there was something about her.
save it.
Talking about the trailer, like, yo, man, is it me or is like she's snapping really off beat? Everybody said that, like, yo.
Okay,
what's wrong?
can we
Hold
just
on. Hold on.
Castro?
hold
We
on,
gotta pause
Yeah,
What?
because we're gonna get into that.
we got to.
Are we doing that now?
No.
No,
We're
when
gonna
we
wait till we get to her. Yeah.
Yes, we're waiting until we get to her.
Yeah.
But
So-
keep the same energy. 'Cause
keep the same energy.
we all have the same energy. For
So
that.
All right, yo.
let's jump into who I consider the scariest character, Zora and Umbre.
Yes.
That little girl was
Did she blink?
Nope.
no.
Blink? Did they make her not blink? Oh my
So
god.
this is
I
what
never blinked.
I checked out an interview. So she said they did whatever they did to that wig, slicked it all the way back, cut it the way they cut it. They airbrushed darkened her eyes, and they airbrushed her cheekbones to raise
Higher.
them higher,
Oh,
And then made her do the smile.
and then made her do that smile. And I'm sorry,
Eyebrows too, which was really creepy.
yeah,
Yeah. So look, Umbre was
yo, they
born
did mention
laughing.
doing
Yes.
that. Yes, go ahead, Castro.
Umbre was born laughing and she died laughing. So
Yeah.
don't forget that part. So like everything was like sinisterly funny, like murderously funny to her. And also what I liked about Umbre and Pluto being the doppelgangers of Jason and what's the daughter's name?
Zora.
Zora,
Mm-hmm.
is they seem like the full realization of the kid's talents. Because Umbre could run her fucking ass
Hello.
Yeah.
like track. All right, and she always was running out of frames. You notice anytime they would go
Yes.
off, she would start running, tracking them, and
Yo.
shit like that.
She was gone.
She was gone.
She was
About a 4.1.
at the combine. Yo, when she just hit him with the
Stretch. The good stretch.
They were fake ass stretches. You knew she ain't need them. That
Right.
was just like
Let me get loose. Let me
Right.
get loose real quick.
You know what that is? That's the classic. Yo, let's race. Go ahead,
Right.
Get a 3-block head start.
Right.
Go ahead, I'm
I'ma dust
I'm
your
tying my shoes and shit like that. Ain't
Right.
no tortoise hair here.
You do anything.
And so, I'm with Am. Her urgency with her prowess and
Man.
the way she would follow her mother's instructions. She was very scary. Very scary.
Yo,
I think that if you stretch before
I wanted to
anything
say this.
calmly,
hold on,
it's gonna-
Cass. Go ahead.
if
I
any,
got 'em.
no matter what the act is, if you stretch calmly before doing it, I'm intimidated. You could be,
right.
you could be changing my alternator. If you lift my hood and then do a stretch, bro, I'm gonna go in the house. You
You got this.
hey,
You got this.
you got it.
You don't need me.
Nah, right.
I'll be over here.
What were you gonna say, Castro?
And also I wanted to say that Zora was well adjusted when they got to the white people's house. Like, she was like, okay, I got to knock people's heads off. And, you know, sometimes in, like, zombie movies or apocalypse movies, somebody's always late on the pickup.
Yeah.
And I noticed that she was like, you know, she took that hard swallow and she was like, I'm cracking somebody's head off.
Gabe was the only one late to the pickup.
Right.
The first to get hurt, the latest to the pickup.
Do we think some of that, her ability to switch that on and off, has something to do with her also being half tethered?
A tethering.
As Nick has said, a tethering. She's a tethering.
That's a great point. Like, just being aware of the situation way quicker than they were intimidated by the situation. Like, no, this is going on. Gabe's still trying to like bribe people with ATM.
Right. Let's all 8 of us get in the car real quick and go to the ATM.
Gabe.
I just gotta say really quickly, it was super dope to see 2 black women just immediately savagely take care of their families.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
Nothing will stop me from. Zora was a golf club, fam. Like, that's not, you don't. Right. Yeah. She was like, I'm ready. Now she's calmly stretching. She's ready to go.
Anybody can get it.
Let's not forget the 4 extra hits that are always missing out of horror movies. Like, I'm making sure this bitch is
all
dead.
you
dead.
Yeah. Let's make sure you dead.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I'm gonna get you with both hands though.
Right.
Have you and I'm like,
Yes.
not only that, to both of them doing that, thank you for getting the creepy black child right though that you never see
Ever, anywhere.
Wow.
You
Good
never
point.
do.
Good point. Good point.
Both of them childs was creepy.
Bruh.
Yes.
Both of them little.
right though wasn't, you know, it was
None of it was overplayed, but it was terrifying. Like Zora, she's
Young
the scariest to me.
Yeah.
And young Adelaide, yeah, you sir,
Yo.
she's terrifying.
Young Adelaide, man.
When she walked back through, when she walked back through the hallway, going back upstairs, that was a look. That's the skill that little girl had.
Yeah, she invented a look.
Yeah.
That's what she did.
And that was excellent casting because they all looked related.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zora Adelaide,
Great facial
young and
expression.
adult Adelaide.
Great face acting, yeah.
Yeah.
Great facial acting.
Yeah.
Because, you know, blacks look the same. So.
All of them do.
So I have listed Russell and Rain. Those are young Adelaide's parents. We can just breeze through that real quick. I do, in doing the research, just pulling all the character names up. I think it's pretty dope that even their doppelgangers, the tethering versions of them, are also, they have names. So Russell, his tethering name was Wayland, and Rain, her name was Eartha. So these are all names obviously given to them by Red, because of course they're not naming each other or themselves. They can't talk. So Red has named everyone within their colony, collective, or whatever. Right. But they have names. Right.
Also, the quality of an actor, because the father, he's Black Mantis,
Right.
Aquaman.
Right.
And so, like, to me, when he was doing his tethering acting, I was very impressed. There was certain expressions on his face.
Creepy.
Mimic
His body language was perfect for drunk dad at the fair.
Yeah.
He was moving all thriller-like with the jerky movements. I was like, yo, this is pretty impressive. And then Yaya something his name is.
Yeah.
And so I thought they were really splashes of characters, but, you know, the mother was very concerned. Like, it's just quality all up and down. There's no B or C actors or just, you know, throwings.
Or acting.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of people you've never seen before that were incredible.
Yes.
Really was rare for the entire thriller
Genre.
Right.
You're right.
They always have
Where, a
someone
bunch of
carrying
throwaway
it.
actors. Yeah.
You don't necessarily know household names that you know, but
That's true.
Academy Award winners in there, like,
Come on,
Yes. Well, they also just now are starting to take the genre seriously and start giving out awards. Like, will Lupita be nominated? Because, again, I don't want to get ahead, but the movie got serious one the moment. So I won't say it until we get to her. But that's when that's when I knew it was real. Is when she first started speaking. Sorry. I don't give a fuck.
So
When Red started talking and that voice that they came up with,
Game
I was
changer.
done. I said, what the fuck are we? And I was ready to leave.
Yeah, that was
He
a one.
said I was ready to leave. Listen.
I was like, I don't know what I signed up for. I ain't signed up for this.
Listen, no. I had that exact same feeling, but way before. When they first popped that on the screen talking about, all the unused tunnels and subways. I said, I didn't sign up for this.
No,
What are you talking about?
Like,
There was no mention of tunnels.
what is
Excuse
this
me,
about
sir.
to me?
This was in none of the trailers. You're talking about all across the United States. I'm in the United States. There's tunnels around here. I don't want to hear about this story, sir. What are you talking about? And then the slow pull away from the rabbits. I didn't. And the music.
That intro.
Come on. And then that music. The Exorcist, like the chanting.
I've been
Listen,
listening to
bruh.
the soundtrack all day. Actually,
Someone just saw this. It's up. I can't wait. I can't
I'm
wait.
missing something, and not to jump top. There's a one part in the movie that the sound. I was like, God damn, what is this? And I can't find it.
That song when they were in the car.
Because
that joint was hitting.
And I don't think it was a song. I think it was a piece. Because
Okay.
I was very interested in the sounds they were using. I was like, what the fuck is it? It was something when the tides were turning towards the end.
Okay.
And they were, the Wilsons were getting up, man. I don't know. When I see it again, I'll make an earmark.
It was the scene with the gasoline, I think we're talking about. If I remember right, because that piece was pretty
But when they're in the car, right?
Yeah, and
When
when he tells them, "I'll get out."
Yeah,
Okay.
right. It
And
might
walk,
be that.
walk back. I think that's at least that's what I remember. That's one of the pieces I remember from it. That was a great piece.
When Red started talking, I was trying to clear my throat.
She made you want to clear your throat.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I had a Ouija board.
All right, so
piece in my
Okay.
hand.
let me get there's two other characters, really small roles. We can jump into them and then we can hop into Red and spend as much time on her as possible. So Kitty and Josh, those were the two white parents. They're
Excellent acting.
yo. I didn't recognize Tim at first. Tim from Tim
Right.
and Eric Awesome Show. I didn't recognize that.
Right.
That was him.
That's him.
That was definitely him.
You were today years old when you found that out.
Go ahead, Castro.
I said, and homegirl was Elizabeth Moss, who we've seen in hundreds of things.
Right.
You know, you-
Right. So
I just thought,
their tethering names were Dahlia and Tex.
okay.
That was hilarious.
Tex was hilarious.
Yeah.
No, Tex was funny as hell. Yeah, because you could definitely determine what he was saying just from his body language. Oh, hey guys, no big deal. Come on in. Good to see you. Like he was like, but you have all this blood on you, Tex, and you're not using words, so no. Yo, like that. Like,
No,
like
he-
he put the robe on like that was gonna be the disguise.
That was his disguise.
I got the robe on, and yeah,
I'm obviously him now.
He didn't put the robe on and answer the door. He answered the door.
Yes.
he answered the door.
She hit him with that poker so cold.
Yo.
He
He
ate
ate
it. He was like lunch.
Yo, right. You ate
was
that
hungry.
and then pursued Gabe. Like you ain't have a whole poker in your forehead just
Right.
now. Seconds ago.
Kick them down the stairs. That was great. When he tossed the top though and gave him the jazz hands, I was like,
Yeah.
That was great.
and then follow him down to the boat and
Yes.
Gabe shot the flare at him. Like that was that was
That
too
was
much.
great because
Yeah.
how many movies have we seen with this flare gun? It's like a semi-automatic weapon.
Yes.
It's got great aim and laser sighting.
Yes. Every single time they pull the flare out, that's when you're winning.
Yeah.
That's when you're beating the monster.
Flares and harpoon guns.
Yes.
Seem like the easiest things to work to beat whatever evil is in front of you.
Right.
I'm more inclined to believe in a harpoon gun than a flare.
Oh, certainly.
But I
Certainly.
know you're gonna. I know with me, a harpoon gun, I'm definitely missing the first 2 or 3 shots. Like, I
You gotta get the.
Experience with those.
no.
Am I shooting in the water? Am I outside of the water? Is the balance off? Do I check for wind speed? There's a lot going on with the harpoon
Or
gun.
look, I'll probably shoot the harpoon if she has to tie the rope.
Oh man. So then we had Kitty. First off, their dynamic was hilarious at the beach. You know, I get my
And
wife
by
for medicine.
By hilarious. Oh, their dynamic
Yeah.
was hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah.
What did we say? I hate you.
You're right.
Is that it?
That'll
Off?
work. But I did, pardon me, I did have a problem with her tethered. Kitty's tethered. I didn't like the way that one was acting. That threw off the believability of the species. Like why she didn't want to kill Lupita. She was going back and forth unless there were orders not to.
No.
But that's what came across to me very quickly. Like she had to resist that because she had clear instructions not to. clear instructions.
I felt like that pulled a little rug out from under me, like tying her up and not killing her. Before I knew anything about a switch or anything, I was just like, what are we doing here? Like, it just was, because also the immediacy of how they killed their doppelgangers and how Red was playing with hers. So, and these are the first two batches we meet. So, and I'm still trying to figure out the rules and stuff like that. And so Kitty's doppelganger, what's her name?
Dahlia.
Dahlia, playing, looking in the mirror. The mirror stuff was great. The screaming and laughing without sound, that was great. Yes, seeing her face, that she gave herself the plastic surgery, whatever the kid performed about. She had herself. That was all great. I just didn't like her not, hurting Adelaide more.
I thought she didn't hurt her because that whole thing where she's on her and she smells her like she smells her. It's not just like this. I'm that close to you, but she was like, as she carried the thing. I thought that was her figure. Oh, you're me. You're one of me. That's what I thought. That's why she didn't kill her.
Oh, thank you, Morgan.
So that was for me when I was like, oh, she's definitely switched.
And we'll end the call right there. Episode's over. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, the same way. Remember when the alien, I don't know which alien, but jumped up on Ripley, a 4 or 5, and sniffed her, but couldn't kill her. Because knew that she had the one inside of her.
Yep.
And that's when she went and checked Alien 3. Stuff like that. Yeah. Oh, great. Well, damn. I didn't. I'm just sitting here like, yo, what are we doing? Like,
why are you waiting? That was my initial thought, like, oh, you're dead, because they don't. And then it was like, oh, you recognize that that's her, or that you're the same.
Jeez.
But I mean,
which I think is a solid thing too. It could be both.
Her thing was, you go up there and you kill yours. Everybody else, they kill theirs.
Sure.
And do not touch her because she's mine. I'm about to torture her.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
For good reason.
Right.
You got swapped out.
But there are some plot holes with the killing, though, y'all. But I want to get to that later.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll get to that.
We'll come to that right after we finish with Adelaide, which is up now.
Oh shit!
Okay.
Where do you start?
Can I start? Just please. So,
You started. Go ahead.
thank you. So when she said, "Once upon a time," I said, "What the fuck?" They don't give you any indication that they talk. I mean, we did see it in the trailers, but that was creepy. It's just you don't know what the trailers is. And she's speaking this whole full sentence. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And what she's saying, your toys were bright and colorful, and ours were dull and spiky. And I'm starting to picture this whole universe of how they live down there, and you lived up here. And I'm just like, whoa! And my mind is just blown. Just that that entrance. That to me is going to go as one of my classic horror entrances of whatever you want. It's like her coming in, sitting Indian style, and starting to speak.
Right. Plus her walk-in game was completely different than everybody else's. That quick, very ballet, get to the line. Like that shit was wild.
Even coming down the stairs.
Yeah.
Just very mechanical.
You have to. Yeah.
Well, and they gave us that flash of seeing the Tether doing that, like taking all of their stuff, putting it on their bed, and it was all very uniform, and everybody made the same movements. But you didn't get any of that with them on the surface.
Right.
Nobody, nobody had that except for her. She had that.
And let's talk about that because that's an excellent point. That's an excellent point. Like think about it. All the other interactions and all the other times that we see the tethering, I'm going to keep looking at just a great term. Every time we see the tethering, it's those spastic, very uncoordinated movements. But when they gave us that flashback of them preparing for this moment, like you said, they were moving in unison. They were moving under her direction. I think that really speaks to how powerful she was and how well planned. Yeah, she was running shit.
Fully running
all
the shit.
How well planned all this shit was.
There's two movements of hers that were very impressive. And one of them is, I don't want to go too far ahead, but I'm doing it anyway. But one when she made herself known, when she kidnapped Jason, and she was standing right by that red truck, and you didn't see her.
Oh, my God.
Standing there, and then she moved, and she snatched him up. Yeah. I was like, wow. And the fight between her and Adelaide and the way she was avoiding the hits.
Bruh.
And that athletic dance.
Bro,
Yeah.
that was too much.
Incredible.
Yeah.
That was too much.
I was like, wow. And the way she was fighting, expressionless, but kicking her and blocking. And at first I thought, oh, she knows everything she's going to do. I said, no, she's been practicing this thing forever. Like, I didn't think she should have killed her. I thought that was cheap. Because really, Adelaide should have got ass. That was cheap. Those moves in the classroom.
Oh, through
Right.
the desks? Yeah. What are we talking about? Yeah.
But definitely an award-winning performance by Lupita. And she has to get her flowers while she can smell them.
Anybody else?
So, after watching the first time, I wasn't scared. I didn't walk out like I'm scared to go home and be in the dark or whatever, right? But I am frequently the first person up in the morning, and I woke up that morning. I'm the only person awake in here, and I come downstairs, and the mirror on our landing
Wow.
scared the entire shit out of me. And all I could hear was Lupita doing the like her saying that and the mirror, and I died. Like this is my proxy.
You tethered.
That shit scared the fuck out of me. Like, I didn't think about any of the actual scares, the things that would make you even jump a tiny bit. But her voice was what resonated the most the next day.
Yeah.
So
It's the premise, is it not? You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like,
yeah.
One of my scariest movies, obviously, is Poltergeist, because I saw it when I was 5, but that's neither here nor there.
That was terrible. That was
in the
child
movie
abuse,
theater.
by the way.
In the movie theater,
Child
I saw it when I was
abuse.
5.
Child abuse.
But
go
yeah,
ahead.
my aunt never asked for it. But when I Attack of the Body Snatchers, the old one and the Donald Sutherland one, that's the freakiest shit to me. Like, you're making a double of me? It's gonna replace me? Oh hell no! It looks like me and nobody's gonna know. Oh
Right.
hell no, man! Like, I'm not with that at all. So like, that premise alone, Morg, I'm with you. Like, the day after me thinking about it, and that was just fucking me up, yo.
Yeah. So in Lupita's getting ready for this film, what I read was that she researched a disorder called spasmodic dysphonia, and it's your vocal cords spasm, creating irregular airflow. So this happens for people who have MS, and it's caused differently because MS is causing that. And then this apparently happens also with people with trauma, just whether physical, emotional. So she got this voice down, and oddly enough, timing wise, Selma Blair, I don't know if you guys remember this actress, but she absolutely, obviously, there you go, Cruel Intentions. She recently said she was diagnosed with MS, and she did an interview where she's speaking, and it's it's happening the entire time.
Wow.
It's happening the entire time. It's not as exaggerated as in the movie, but it's it. Yeah. So I encourage everybody to see that, because that brought it a little more home to me.
Did you notice as the movie went on that Adelaide, her voice started cracking and fucking up? When as the movie went on and the confrontation kept escalating.
Like even
her voice
more?
was like starting to do what Red's voice was doing. Like, it was starting to break down.
She was talking to Gabe in the room about telling the story a little bit.
Yes.
A little bit for me, but I didn't notice like a huge progression. But kind of there, I was like, oh.
And I heard that and took it just as like this was a traumatic thing to talk about, and it was emotional. That's totally how I took it. That it was right, like right.
Yeah. She said when studying that condition that she got with some voice coaches.
Yeah.
And they coached her through the process of imitating that without actually hurting herself. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's some serious.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah, it's some serious.
It's also a hell of a chance to take. Like, they can tell you all day that won't, hurt hurt your vocal cords or do any sort of long-term injury.
Right.
But do they know? Like, is there any sort of guarantee that I might not just be fucked up now?
Right.
Like,
Right.
that's a chance to take.
Right.
You're doing it pretty well.
Yeah, do that one more time. Do
Because
that.
it's terrifying. It's all I hear. I'll be fine. I'm not doing it for a movie, though.
Right. Right.
Like, that's a long time.
I will say, the writing and direction allowed me to really see all the characters for who they were.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there wasn't a point where I felt like I was looking at Lupita on the screen twice. It wasn't like I was,
Right.
I didn't see the actors. I was like, it was a clear difference between the Tetherin and the humans in this film, and I viewed them as separate entities the entire time. It wasn't like, Zora, you're running from yourself.
Same.
No.
No,
Zora,
you're running from
this
Umbre.
creepy little girl. Like,
Umbre about to kill you.
yeah.
But by admitting that, you're talking about one of the central tenets of the movie and the underprivileged and the overfed and the upper class. Well, I think, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. When I hear all those alternate theories about what this says and us also means U.S., I think we're doing too much. I think we saw a great horror movie that you can take what you want from it, but I don't think those overarching themes were written in. I think that audiences are doing that because it's a black movie.
Well,
we want it to be a
Have you viewed any of his interviews afterwards? Because he actually did speak to the U.S. American
Dual meaning.
Yeah, the underprivileged. Like, he actually did speak to those.
But you know what hits, and I agree, and I did see some of it. But what hit me more is when he said the duality of the Michael Jackson era, and that's why the red and the glove.
That was really good.
And I was like, hell yeah, like that to me is something that he had as the foundation. To me, more so than the application of the political stuff. But if he said so, then I just have to take it as fact. But the duality of Michael Jackson, everybody's
that was really good. I'm glad he actually said that. So for those that didn't see the interview, the person asked him, based on everything that's come out lately with Michael Jackson, how do you feel about putting the Thriller shirt in the film or any of the Michael Jackson references? And he said, honestly, I wish I would have done more. To play up how big Michael actually was at that moment.
Right.
Like, and at first I was like, okay.
Man.
But then he was like, no, that's right, though. That's
what that time was.
That's
so
what it was.
It wouldn't be wrong for her to want a Thriller shirt in 1986.
Yes.
Right.
Super accurate. Super
to
accurate.
make that statement, because remember, we get to this, but she said I had to make a statement. So she's taking her 6-year-old understanding of what's great and going on in the world and applying it to her revolution. It's a lot of stuff.
Right. And just 11-year-old understanding.
Right.
She was a
11.
tiny 11.
Sorry.
So
Well, the mom says she's 11, something.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it was just tiny.
I do remember.
Yeah,
And
that is okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Well, and also
That's
Lupita's a
everybody.
tiny woman.
Yeah.
Like, she's like 5'1".
Okay.
So
there was one group
think so.
that I
I'll look
did
up.
see reoccurring
gonna feel bad.
as far as their T-shirts. Black Flag. There were two different
I
characters
saw
wearing
that
Black
too.
Flag
I saw that
shirts.
too.
The
that
kid that was operating the booth, he had a Black Flag
Yep.
shirt, and then and one of the twins,
I
one of the
didn't
twins
catch
that got
that.
killed, she had a Black Flag
That
shirt
might
on
be-
when they were
I
at the
think
beach.
that could just be an Easter egg because I'm not familiar with all of their material, but I don't.
Yeah,
think
I'm
they
not
had
familiar with their
racial
material
components.
either.
I don't think there was racial components, but I don't know. I mean, it did have that dude, the lead guy, the dark haired guy who's like a speaker now.
Yeah, I'm unfamiliar with them altogether, but I think in a situation like this where this is, it's not like they let them show up to set and wear whatever shirt they wanted
Right.
to.
Right,
So
right.
to have that appear twice in the film, like it makes you want to
Just
look into their
duality.
music and see why would he he do
but
that?
the duality, anything that appeared twice, Am is right. We should all look into like it's extended material because, the fucking videos of the 1986 broadcast. Okay, so I want to get into this.
The
Let's
videos
stop.
on the side of the TV screen.
Yes, Chud is one of the videos about underground people coming up and taking over.
Yep.
There's a couple. I wanted to talk
And
about
Goonies was up there too.
Yeah, Goonies.
Yeah.
Those.
So he said in the interview that this movie has twice the amount of Easter eggs as Get Out.
Yes.
So
So
yeah,
who was alive?
Yeah.
Who was alive and aware of of Hands Across America?
I remember Hands Across America. I was bored with it.
I remember it too.
Oh,
I remember the slogan. I do not remember. You're about to say what is Hands Across America?
No. I do remember it, but I was too young to remember while it was happening.
Okay.
So
Right.
Later.
Yeah, I don't remember it being a thing. Like,
But I feel like
let's take this.
no, it was, but I mean, like, it wasn't for me.
For
I was
you,
too
okay.
young. Yeah.
Let's take this one. So I was it's 86. I'm 9, and so you're like 9 or 10.
10.
10? So
Right.
guys, we're watching this thing, right? And
Yeah.
the big thing was it was a spectacle, right? To cure homelessness, right? And the big thing was there were gaps. Like it didn't work. Like,
Right,
that
it
was the
didn't
big
work.
thing
It
happening.
couldn't work.
There was all these gaps, and they didn't plan it out right to actually have humans standing with their hands, mountain ranges, whatever. And also, y'all, the money was misappropriated.
Yeah.
It didn't really go to homelessness. Like it was like a farce. Like it got put here and that's what I remember about that. Like it's always one of those 80s things like pet rocks and other things.
Yeah, that fell
like,
flat.
Yes, and these pets and stuff. And it was so funny. Like watching the commentary afterwards brought it to focus. I saw that. I'm watching. I'm like, oh, I was old enough. And the girl I was with, I was like, yeah. She was younger. She didn't remember the shit. And I was like, yeah, I remember that thing was on TV. It was like a farce, and it didn't really work. And
It was a farce.
and him being like that attention to detail, that was impressive to me. Like that aspect of it was impressive. Like who would fucking dig up Hands Across America and use that in a horror movie?
Seriously.
Jordan Peele.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Didn't he say though he
That's
stumbled
appeal.
across it?
That's appeal.
That
Did
was
he?
yeah. He said it wasn't an intentional. It was just something he saw on YouTube, and then that made him. It was the MTV commercial, and then
Yes.
that made a connection for him in.
Oh,
the whole,
wow.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because I think he's not that much older.
Right.
Like he would have been
Not 18 months.
not 18
But-
months like Can was
maybe
in
not 10.
'86.
Can I tell y'all this? Can I tell y'all this? So I'm about to play advocate. We can dive right into that. But the guy that gave me all of these things I'm about to say went to college with Jordan Peele and actually spoke to him right before he was about to drop out. Hilarious story. Like he was older than him, so
I'm
he
like,
tried
are
to
you
tell
telling
him.
me?
He tried to tell him, "Nah, you shouldn't drop out, man. Stick it out or whatever like that." He didn't. He did drop out and they
He's like,
moved,
who needs it?
And no, it's when he moved to Amsterdam and started doing comedy out there.
Gotcha.
It's right before that.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay, yeah, Jordan Peele is 40, so he
Okay.
would remember, not remember.
yeah.
Hands Across
Right.
America. Yeah.
All right. So you said you're going to jump
Whoa,
in.
Keegan, the other one is 48.
What?
It has no relevance to this. I just saw.
Wowzers.
Wow.
Didn't.
Yeah.
That's a decent gap.
Keegan Michael Key is 48.
Wow.
That's a decent gap for
Keegan-
men.
Yeah.
Michael Key.
That's a heavy gap.
Right.
It
So-
is. Well, when you got the 3,
Oh
you
yeah, that's all
definitely.
serial killer or comedian apparently.
Or no,
Sometimes they're
the
one and the
flip
same.
is you're a fantastic actor.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
Do comedians kind of
What's my man?
smudge their ages? Do they do
Seymour.
that?
Yeah,
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah.
I don't know if they fudge their ages. It'd be silly to.
I don't know if it applies. There's no like young comedians.
Although Keegan Michael Key is like a trained actor, like
Yeah,
a
Shakespearean
Cambridge
actor.
trained actor
Yeah.
or some shit,
Oh.
and so
Yeah.
he's not just a comedian. Like he's
Yeah.
definitely a thespian,
Yes.
if you
Interesting.
will.
Yes. We were like, wait, what?
I'm sorry.
Then how did he end up at Mad TV?
Right. Well, they both did, right? Like, ain't that crazy?
Right.
And Bobby Lee of all. Okay. Anyway,
So let's hop
we're gonna get
into
off
before
track.
we go into
Great
the opposing
podcast.
views.
Bobby.
Before we go into the opposing views, let's discuss the backstory or the story of the tethering. Did that hold water for everybody, or are there some things about that that are just jumped out at you?
Okay,
At
so
first,
Hold on, Ketchum.
do we just first give just the premise?
Let's give the premise.
The premise is that the government has set up a scientific experiment to clone people. And we see rabbits. So first we probably started with the rabbits.
They were the first clone thing.
They were the first clone thing. We move on to the people. We at some point realize, okay, the souls don't transfer. This is not as successful. These are kind of like Frankensteinish. They're more animalistic than they are human.
but wait. Also, they were
Shells.
supposed to be able to control the people up top.
That was the intention.
Well, and
I think it's the people at the top control them, though, right?
Right, it works in reverse.
Right, right.
It worked. They didn't get it right.
They didn't get it right, guys.
Thus, the experiment being abandoned. We didn't kill anybody off. Which, I mean, to me, if you abandon a failed experiment,
That's way more fucked up than killing them off. Right?
Way more.
it's way more fucked up to leave them.
guys.
Like,
That's what they do.
where is a superhero when you need it?
Listen,
like,
guys.
pull someone
Castro, I
in.
hear
Where's
what
the
you're saying.
Punisher? He kills them all.
Right.
We move forward.
I hear
It
what you're
didn't
saying,
ever
but
happen.
but guys,
The
on some
Where's
real,
your-
on some
yes,
real talk,
the SEAL
and
Team
this
6.
this may be the only flaw I have with the film. Whenever have you ever in ever film ever seen when they leave the failed experiments, they don't kill them.
Right. That's what
Every
I'm getting
single
at.
chance, it's like kill it, erase,
Pretend like
erase,
it never happened.
Kill
Erase
it,
the
burn
people's
it down,
memories that you can't kill.
scorched earth, and let's get out of here. You just close
So this
the
is why it
door?
is America, because they dumb as fuck. So
Y'all
they just
Right.
too
Jimmy Hoffa
in your
all
mind.
day.
Step out of the box.
brother.
Right.
A whole bunch of tethers. Apparently, a whole nation.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
A nation of
You
tetherins.
kill off a whole nation underground. Where you
If no one knows
Yes.
about them, you definitely
Yeah,
can.
gas them.
Gas. That's what I was saying.
Gas.
Gas. You just gas.
Oh, there's a way to do this.
Walk them one by one into an incinerator.
Okay.
Right,
who
but
are not
No wait.
mentally
No wait.
capable.
No.
but from the beginning, Nick, it wasn't every single like this shit grew, right? It wasn't like all of a sudden everybody in America has a tethered.
Right. Also, let's keep it in consideration
They did.
here.
True.
This-
I mean, but how do you?
but Nick,
how
think,
is that possible?
think about it like this.
How
Though.
was what?
Think about it like this. Think about it like this. There were cameras. These were full operating facilities. They had personnel.
Right.
There was enough people working this experiment across the entire nation for this to be kept secret.
Right.
So it's just like a mental hospital. They could have killed all of them with no one ever knowing. Ever. It wasn't
No
like it was
one-
one guy down there with the key for everybody.
Right.
Remember, none of them talked except one. Not
Right.
one talked.
Right.
That's a big
And
thing.
one wasn't of them.
And she
One
wasn't-
was swapped.
Right. She wasn't even alive at the time that they decided to cut the
I feel like whoever's running it knew they wasn't
Shut it down.
out, though. They knew they weren't. No pun intended. But
I know we weren't. I was going to see if we were going to mention it.
Mentally capable. Right.
You ain't gonna find your way out. Like you'll die down.
I mean, I hear all of that.
Really
And
teach you to
okay,
procreate.
so is what you're saying
wow.
that possibly they never assumed that the way that they were procreating would happen.
Right.
So it wasn't that they were procreating, it was that someone up top had a baby. And or someone up top
they didn't draw that
gets
connection.
married. And the scientists whoever did this never started that way.
Yeah.
Or you I mean
Yeah.
yeah, like they didn't foresee that coming is
Right.
what I mean.
Right.
So it could have been there was
Eh.
X amount, and they were like, we're not doing this anymore.
You know
And
what?
didn't think that they could move forward.
I'm
is
glad
what
we
you're
talked
saying?
through this. I'm glad we talked through this. 1 second before you hit the then again, because you brought me to a place where it makes sense. This is the way they handled that was a very 80s solution. It was a very 80s solution. Oh, we're done, and we're walk away from it.
And go do some coke.
Coke Zero, we're not doing it anymore. We're leave
Like-
Coke Zero.
like you're right.
Clearly Canadian, we're not doing this
Abandoned
anymore. We just walk away from it.
Like-
Clearly
like
Canadian was-
abandoned
No,
factory
kinda
was-
fully, but they
Okay,
also
yeah,
sell it at the
Castro,
world
I
market.
hear you.
Sorry.
What did he say?
Yeah.
He was like abandoned factories, like you just
Yeah.
walk away.
Yeah.
Just close the doors and walk away.
There are like
The-
so
the hills
it's,
have
they're
eyes.
not humans.
Like that.
Yes.
Perfect example.
Yes. Yes.
Americans,
Yes.
I mean, they would leave.
They're the best for cleaning that shit.
Yeah.
Holla at 'em.
Also, we're examining this from a not so savage black perspective, where we haven't had the ability to be in power and do crazy shit like this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
you're right.
Yeah.
We're like, why
What
would
do we
you?
look at?
Why
This
would you and
happens
how
all
could
the-
you?
But it
And
happens
if
all
you
the time.
did, then you have to just kill the. There's compassion.
No,
Yes.
fuck that. We
That-
cloning a motherfucker. That's another mouth to feed. I don't care if they. I gotta put that motherfucker on my taxes.
Nah, he like, do I get to claim you on my taxes? Are you a part of this household?
gotta
How
feed
does it
you.
work?
Put these clothes in
I
your
got
bag.
4 pets in my house. I can't claim not one of them. I claim my tether. Give me some money back.
I'm mad about it. I still have questions about this 4 pets business. But we'll move forward. We'll move
Any
forward.
other analysis of their origin and the backstory?
I'm solid.
I think it was you have to just go in there wanting to enter Peele's vision and suspend your disbelief about the actual who, what, when, where, and how of the tethered. Who created them? Why did he leave them? You'll go down a big hole. And my friend that thought the movie was shit. That was a big thing for him.
And what were the rabbits?
Who created these things? That was what we were talking about for 20 minutes. Well, why was it in this? It was just breaking it down from the premise of the premise is great. My friend thought they shouldn't have explained any of it. We should have never really had the exposition of what the tethered fully were. Whether that was Red saying it or us seeing more of them down there. Just leave it up to whatever happened, like the mist, the fog, the blob. Shit just starts happening. Bird box, shit like that. It would have helped suspend his disbelief. That he told me.
Makes sense. So Castro, you could jump right into the analysis your friend has of the opposing thoughts.
Okay. Just trying to put them all in question form. I'll go with the easiest one. People like this movie because it was made by a black person and has black people in it.
That's a I didn't like the movie, and the reason people do like it is because it's a black creator and black cast.
Yeah, I mean just the black obligation of black movies.
Okay.
No. I definitely I don't feel obligated to like anything, to be quite honest. Like there's joints I lean towards, like, oh, okay, I'm interested to see where this is going to go, or I'm addicted to sequels, but I don't. This doesn't feel like. I mean, okay, so honestly, upon what? It's not called Black Us. Like, what reason would the black collective feel like they're obligated to watch a movie that Jordan Peele did?
Because
Get
there's
Out.
a black cast.
There are tons of movies with black. Tyler Perry makes a bunch of them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but there's never been a horror movie with a black family at the center. If you look at all of those movies,
no, I get that. But what I'm saying is,
Purge.
because of that, that makes it even harder sell. Something we're not really used to seeing. So I don't see a level of devotion necessarily because we got to all get out here and support it like it's Black Panther.
But can I throw in there with that Get Out did what it did and became this token. This was the thing, right? So therefore, knowing that another joint was going to come out, it's almost that automatic because of what Get Out did as far as a black director, this idea, this almost making a genre, the way he's, flipped these things. And I think that probably, and not just black people, I mean people in general, but I definitely think we rallied behind based off of that. It's a wave that just went.
I think a film equally as, well, it wasn't equally as impactful, but just as high up there. Does anyone know who directed Moonlight? You know what I'm saying? Like, Moonlight was an excellent, never really handled in that way black film. But there isn't the same devotion to see what this director does next. You know what I'm saying? So
that's true, but there's also the fact of it being, and I'll say it, it's a homosexual movie. It's it has, the directors the directors are queer themselves.
Right.
And us,
still not being comfortable with it over.
Yeah, people of color are very uncomfortable. So it's like
over
they'll talk about that.
Yes,
movie.
over generations.
Yeah, and then, they'll talk about that movie way later. Like, oh my God, that, but not now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Same reason I still get into arguments with people about not even seeing Brokeback Mountain.
Right.
I can't understand anybody who likes movies that never saw that. That's unexcusable.
Right.
But,
Okay.
All right. Next thing up. The logistics of the movie. How can there be this underground society and they left it that way? How does that even occur? What are they eating? What's going on? Who's running the electricity down there?
PG&E. You want to go?
I mean, no, because I definitely have my questions. Again, I know that they are eating the rabbits, healthy rabbits at that.
Right.
What are these rabbits eating?
Right.
So that was a question. But when it came to the underground, I've lived in a lot of cities up and down the I-5 corridor. Almost all of them have an underground city.
We do definitely have an underground city.
There's almost every major city I've lived in has a part of town that the city is almost built over that. And if you go under there's your tunnel system.
And they're literally they're proposing to do that in Portland right over here, right now. Like capping the freeway and having a something over it.
I'm sorry, I missed that. Really?
Yeah, over I-5, and there's a lot to it. Well, but
we'll come
yeah,
back to it.
so they're proposing. It's the same thing as all I'm saying.
Great time to announce our spinoff podcast.
City planning with Morgan Jones and Candace.
That's so Portland. Morgan Jones and Candace.
I mean, I'm from New York, and there's at least, I never really dived into it. There's at least like 4 or 5 abandoned subway lines.
Right.
So that alone, and then New York was always obsessed. I mean, they still are with. You can literally almost connect everything down there.
Yeah.
So the access
All the
tunnels probably have to
buildings,
be even more immense. The non-public areas have to be way more immense than the things we are allowed to. There's like one train that connects me. It's literally a mile because I've walked it. It's literally a mile between the zigzags you got to go through from one end to the other. So the access tunnels probably, so the tunnel thing was, and then also in Australia, there's that immense tunnel system down there.
Yeah.
France, these things
France,
definitely do exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, but actually using them as this housing area for these clones, I had friends that just had a hard time wrapping their brain around it. Because, and I think the manner of it was explained somewhat. Red does give the exposition when they're in the classroom and explain something more of it. I think he felt like that shouldn't have been included. Leave it more mysterious.
Yeah.
As opposed to answering some questions, then why not answer all if you're going to answer some?
I don't think that's a fair expectation, though. That I either answer everything for you or let you come to every one of your own conclusions. I don't think that's fair.
Okay.
If I'm directing, written and produced and directed the movie, there's gonna be, I'm leading you to somewhere.
Right.
So there's some things that can be vague, and you can, argue on if the boy was switched or not. And you can argue if Hands Across America means a border wall or it means something else. Right. That's not the full point. I'm driving you to the full point. I don't think it's fair to say how I do that. I can only do it one way or the other.
That's the key. The whole thing with it is leaving somebody with questions.
Right.
Makes you want to be a repeat.
Right.
That's why I want to go see it. I had so many questions that I wanted to have answered. Yeah. And so many things that I was left to interpret for myself that I wanted to go check it out again.
I definitely think that this is a watch more than once to have an opinion kind of movie. Definitely. You can have your base opinion, your immediate reaction. I really liked the movie or I didn't like the movie. But I think you have to see it again and try and pick up everything that you had a grievance with the first time. Try and reconcile it. Is it there and you just missed it the first time? I mean, there were things that we all missed the first time, or for those who haven't seen it twice. No stuff.
I watched it in my mind.
And that was a director's intent. He also said that in one of the interviews. He wrote it and put things in certain ways for people to catch it the second and third time. I feel like he successfully created a brand new cinematic experience for us, honestly, because with the Jordan Peele film, I'm going to go see this film. I'm anxious to see it. It's Jordan Peele. He does crazy shit. Then what happens? We all come home. We're like, yo, that was wild. Then we start reading the think pieces. And we start reading we start watching the videos. Reviews. We do the reviews first. And then we're like, okay, that was dope. Okay, we go see it again. Right? Now, when we're seeing this the second time, we have our ideas in our heads, some of the theories of our own. So we're watching it the second time to either validate or dispel those theories. Then we come out of it the second time. Now at this point, the think pieces are up. People are analyzing it online. And then you go back the third time. Like, this has been the pattern. That was Get Out. I will want
to offer this, though.
What other films are we doing that for? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's created this conversation around his work that's amazing. Go ahead.
But I offer a word of caution. I do not want this the expanded conversations that they grow exponentially to revolve around a twist.
You can't control it.
No. To revolve around a twist. That's M. Night Shyamalan's Achilles. Like, everything. Now you're sitting there watching and waiting the whole movie for the twist. That's why I like to Get Out succeeded, and in one way, and Us succeed in another. I got two more contention.
Okay.
So here's I got the second one. Hold on. Okay, I'll ask the second one first. Did Get Out success amplify your suspension of disbelief when it came to this movie's world building?
I think. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, as it should. I think he kind of set the stage for you to kind of let your mind go and do whatever you want to do. And
So trust. We had trust.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like
That
you
makes
delivered on the
sense.
first one. Why not trust you with that?
That makes sense.
Whereas to me, M. Night Shyamalan has kind of fallen short on more than
You can't trust, dude. You cannot.
trust
No.
him.
It's on a case by case basis. With fam.
Can't trust it.
Yeah.
We already talked about
Yeah. What have you done for me lately, man? Yeah,
Right.
you can't be
I
trusted.
delivered on that first one, and I was ready to kind of let my mind wander and kind of just accept it for what it was, just being set up for.
He also refuses to confirm or deny that these movies are happening in the same world. He won't.
Right.
He refuses.
I think
to.
we have that weird reflex to try to do it.
Yeah.
And Cloverfield did a horrible job, and I love the Cloverfields, but please, Abrams, like that was poorly to kind of rope them in with the really thin webs. I think we always want to see a shared universe, and I think that actually lends to M. Night's success in resurrecting and how well Split was and how well Glass worked.
Yeah.
That we were like, oh, we're watching something connected, and we didn't even know it.
Right.
Tarantino just now really started saying my universe is all collected and allowing these videos to come out. Because at first he wasn't all about that. He would drop products in his movies, but he wouldn't say they were all cousins and brothers.
Right.
All right, last one. Is Us Jordan Peele's Unbreakable?
No.
Why is that even a question?
Yeah. Let me.
The question
I'm
being, and I'm
confused.
explaining it. I'm
Okay.
gonna lay it out. Sorry. So, in the sense that it's the last kind of good movie built on a prior success, and it'll be trash from here on out.
Wow.
But so that's
Wow.
there's a lot.
What's going with that?
Man, there's a lot of the things that I see that there's comparison to M. Night, and I don't understand the
Desire
idea
to-
to
Don't mind
do
that.
that.
That's just the order. That's the
No.
order.
Here's the thing. It's hard not. No. We can't ignore it because you're not the only person that said this.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, people are
interesting that
watching
this is a
people do this.
reoccurring thing.
Exactly.
And I don't understand the connection of those two.
I feel like it's for the reason that he said, though, as far as setting you up, as far as the twist goes. You know,
I mean,
feel like
yeah.
the comparison with the twist is kind of hard to ignore because M. Night Shyamalan.
M. Night has
based
the
on
twist
that.
locked down.
And he did. Okay, so he did say that he studied Unbreakable. He did recommend that the cast watch Sixth Sense. He gave them movies to study: The Shining, Sixth Sense, and he follows a couple of them. So I mean, sure, I can see that some comparison.
Wait. Are those thrillers?
I think I don't know what he categorized them as when he gave them to him, but I think those would be considered thrillers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, okay, great. M. Night isn't the only dude to make movies with great twist endings. You know what I'm saying? Now that was his signature with a lot of his joints. I just feel like what Jordan Peele has gave us in Get Out, that was just no one's doing what he's done. We don't need to compare it to anybody else. You know what I'm saying? And also, have we seen an M. Night movie that has brought this level of horror in ever? And so why even what are we talking about?
With that, as a non-fully invested person in the movie watching business, M. Night Shyamalan, I feel like when he came out originally, that was huge.
Oh, yeah.
Without all the, with the internet web that we have now, that was huge. Like his name, he was thrown in all the rap songs. It was just But what he did with this movie was it was kind of this like change from what had been coming out as far as horror movies.
Right.
It was a curve. We had a big gap of the same movies with different titles.
Sure.
And then Get Out pops out, and it's like, whoa, shit. Then we
Okay.
jump over here, and it's another one like, oh, shit, another hit. So that comparison of when's the last time there's been somebody putting out a movie with such a big name, and the last one they can do is compare it to M. Night Shyamalan.
Okay, that
I
I
see
understand.
Yeah,
That I can understand that.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, way to explain that.
I went too literal and was thinking about the actual movies.
Yeah,
I
sometimes
was
you gotta
gonna
get
put
out of your mind.
Okay, there it is.
I'm here to put the table on y'all.
could y'all allude to that review you watched before we actually started recording tonight and some of the points she brought up?
So Grace, I wish I wrote down some of the points that she brought up because some of them were just so ridiculous to me. She was hung up on. Well, it irritated me that she described the section of the video that she was going into as parts of the movie that fell flat. So we're not going to do that. You're not going to listen, Grace. We want all the smoke. You're not going to do that. No part of the movie fell flat. And I was very cautious going into her analysis because she did a review of Glass and things that she didn't agree with, she described as flaws in the film. And you can say you don't like it, but it's not an actual flaw. Like this isn't a plot hole or anything. I don't know if you remember, MJ, but she had an issue with the fight not ending up at the tower like it was supposed to. But it wasn't.
Well, it was never supposed to.
Right, it wasn't. If you're paying attention, that was never going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, right.
I was like, oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about it.
Yeah.
But I still have a with the fight in general. But
right.
Yeah, but it's also not a Marvel movie, so we
right.
should not be looking
that
for...
That would have been...
We should not... We should not... Okay, I'm here for that. Yeah, I'm here for that. But we shouldn't expect the movie we got with a Marvel movie fight...
ending, yeah.
And then come back to the flat kind of...
Because it had a good twist at the end. He gave us the M. Night twist. All right,
I'm not mad at that. You can can make sense to me.
So going to her critique of this film, there were things that happened when we watched the film. Here in Portland, any film you're gonna go see is predominantly white. And when we saw Get Out,
besides when you come to Beaverton to watch it.
True that. My bad, homie. My bad.
Come to the hood.
More predominantly white.
Okay.
Oh, it's opposites day. I forgot to tell you guys.
So there are. It alters your viewing experience to the point where we're in a theater where people are laughing at things that we just don't find funny.
That they shouldn't be laughing at.
You should not be laughing at. Another thing that was really, really brand new, completely, never experienced this a day in my life, when we saw it the second time. So this was, the movie's released. We're not with people that got passes or really just... there were a lot of press people in the first viewing we saw. People were here to pay attention to the movie. So there was a lot more commentary in the second one. And there were white people talking to the screen. Like, why are you... No!
Don't go in there.
Don't go in there. And we're like...
Don't go in that room.
This is what black people do in white horror movies.
Wait a minute.
And now white people are reacting the same way. It was so wild. So I'm putting all of that out there to say that in the film where we're seeing so many things for the first time, and race is the primary factor of that, when someone like Grace, who happens to be white, is telling me there's parts of the movie that fell flat, my immediate connection is there's a cultural disparity here. There's things you're probably just not getting.
Right.
You know what I mean? There was a...
Simply because
you're white. There was a review of Black Panther, and the person reviewing it, the end of the movie where they're back in Oakland with the ship.
Yeah.
And the kids are like, what is that, a Bugatti?
Right.
He thought the child said, what is that, a Shatari, like referring to the alien race from the first Avengers movie. Because you never heard black kids say Bugatti. Like, you don't.
Because that word doesn't register to you in the context of what you're seeing it in. And so it couldn't have been that word.
Right.
So it changes the entire shape of the meaning in that moment for the way you interpret it.
You brought in the whole alien race to explain what this kid said.
That's filthy.
Right. I think
there are misses. There are just full blown didn't catch it, didn't see it.
Right.
Like there's significance to me that the white family gets murked immediately.
Quick fast.
Yep. There's no
out of there.
We're not debating.
We're not. Not only are we not debating, you're not going to suffer.
Yeah.
You're just dead now. The black family has to experience this stretched out over an entire movie, day and a half long situation. That's significant.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's something we're going to be a lot more sensitive to.
Yeah,
right.
so we're gonna be a little bit more sensitive to knowing that there's privileges in everything, and even in death, you get it quicker, you get it swifter, you get it neater. Yeah.
So one of the things.
So I'm gonna see that differently than Grace will see it. Grace is just gonna be confused on why the White family died so soon.
Or who built the escalator?
Who built that? That shit's modern.
So that was one of the things she mentioned,
because lighting isn't a thing.
Yeah, like the escalator looked really modern for something that was abandoned.
Right.
And then it was like, where did they get all these? Where did they get all these jumpsuits and the glasses, jumpers and the glasses?
And why even do that?
And what's with the one glove?
Where did jumpsuits come from?
Yes, we can wonder that all day, or we could not care at all because it doesn't matter.
Or we can just chalk it up.
What's more important is that she was able to organize that amount of people to do exactly what she wanted them to do.
So yeah, how about that, Grace?
So check this out.
Wait, hold on, Castro. Hold on,
Check
Castro.
this out.
Hold on, Castro.
Okay.
Grace, allow us to address you.
We got direct beef?
Grace, how is it that this one person was able to organize an entire nation of people that can't talk, but you're worried about where she got jumpers from?
They were under a groove.
You're worried about where they got their clothes
and
from?
why did they only wear one glove? We can wait for we can figure that shit out.
Like that's your concern? How did the black woman do that? That's your concern?
Well, it's not going to be that because it would never be that. It's just like,
but it's funny the circuitous route she takes to trying to figure out the glove, and all of us think, oh, that's Michael Jackson.
Immediately.
Like that's instant.
Immediately.
The Michael Jackson parallels the Thriller outfits like a snap of a finger.
Right.
She had the spitball moment of it and was like, just please stop talking. Like
you're talking yourself into
it's too painful.
And she didn't get the connection between the red jumpsuits and the red people holding hands on them.
Right.
Like it's literally in your face.
Yeah.
And she's like, why would they wear red? It just doesn't make any sense. What's the big deal?
Right.
Did you watch the same movie we did?
So check this out. So I watched this show on Sci-Fi. It's outrageous. It's called Channel Zero, and it's based on creepypastas, which are like scary movies. Obviously, scary stories. They're like a continuous, like they're broken up into parts and they're put on the internet. So that's where like Slender Man came from. It was broken into parts, so that each part has like a cliffhanger from it. So Channel Zero is really crazy. Like the first episode had the first series, and it's short, it's only 6 episodes. First series had like this reincarnation of a kid made of all teeth. And, like the whole kid was made of teeth. The whole thing. He was teeth. So
he sound like
so when I
walking.
watch, so my point is when I watch Channel Zero, and I know that these stories come from the internet and they're short stories and they're passed around, and cyber communication, we know how that goes. Right. I just immediately start believing the story no matter how crazy it is. So I immediately suspend belief because I know the source of the story, I know what I'm watching, and I'm expecting something that's outworldly.
Right.
It's interesting enough that people are fighting that impulse when it comes to Peele, just to be a negative narrative, just to take the negative narrative stance.
Yeah.
They're like, well, why is this? Who did that? What is this? Who turned on this or that? When a lot of movies, why does in Halloween Michael keep getting up? They never really explain that. They never really explain that he's superhuman or he had a serum. That's never really told you. As far as we know, he's a normal fucked up kid.
Right.
Jason is a little bit more lore and stuff, but let's just say Michael Myers fans say he just keep coming. It Follows, great movie. Where the fuck did that come from?
Right.
And I'll be looking at bitches too, because I don't know. But anyway. Sorry.
He meant that.
So, but the point being is, I like we said, the trust that is laid out by Get Out being so excellent, and also Peele Hammer's great career beforehand. I had no problem going into the movie and being like, boom, I'm here for this. I'm buckling up. And as soon as she said, what the fuck? Time, I said, that's it.
I'm out.
Go to the bathroom or something.
Did he have any more?
I think there was a few more, but I should have wrote them down.
Okay.
It was a pretty deep comment because his first thing was like, "You like that movie?" He just had a lot of logistic issues with the movie. Mm-hmm. The half telling of what was going on, he felt either they should have went further with that. He loved the premise. He thought the opening shot was excellent. I saw another review that talked about that. The flashback shot. cinematography, the lightning storm in the distance. All of that was great. That premise is set up great. But yeah, I'm probably losing some. There was probably a couple of more bullet points I wanted to bring up, but I'll say that's it, because it's just there's two frames that people are taking. Oh, we love it, it's really good, and then people think you're loving it and it's really good because everybody else is. But then there's other people like, well, I'm gonna hate it because everybody loves it.
Yep.
And so, like, I see a lot of that with this movie. So I think we should just give it time. I didn't see such a backlash with it, and that was a remake. Yeah. Well, I thought some people would take the other. I mean, it was done great, but that one I thought would have a little bit more platform for people to take the opposite side. Oh, I was this age. It's not taking me there again. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just interesting. Black director. I don't believe in coincidence, so it's not a coincidence. The black director, there's going to be a lot of backlash. I just think it's very interesting.
Yeah. I can't think of anything else that she said that was really, like,
worthy to talk about.
Yeah, seriously. It was just a lot of...
She just missed a lot of stuff.
Yeah, she missed
like if you're an actual film critic and you do this on your YouTube channel for part of your living.
Hello.
I feel like you should be taking better notes or something while you're in there.
Yeah.
Like you said, she was sitting on for half.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever she just started staring in the camera too long, because her notes was clearly off to the left side.
Right.
I think if you don't give Peele the credit he's due with, this is a horror movie starring black people. If you start there with the simpler premise, not, oh, this is a total, like I do understand in his interviews he said there is double meaning, but I think if you just give him credit for being an auteur and making a horror movie, then you can go into there, dive into the deep end and be more immersed than, oh, where's the racial component? Oh, he must be talking about this. Where's the Trump reference? That's where I was. I didn't want to go that far. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to enjoy it as another piece of the genre. Like, seriously, was I thinking about the plight of the Jews when I watched Dr. Giggles? No. It's a crazy ass doctor cutting motherfuckers up and shit like that.
Right.
I'm just saying. But you know what I mean? Now it seems like it's almost warranted that you bring up what's the racial and political element when there is a black person at the helm. And I think I don't mind that because that's from Spike. You know what I mean? Spike was, there's some fucking shit going on. And I tweeted out, and I want to put it on record on the pod, that I say that Peele is to now what Spike was to then. And I want people to get me confused. I don't know if he's as political as Spike, but just knocking things out the park, being excellent at the start.
I definitely agree with you, and I think the impact that he's making is amazing. I'm really looking forward to the Black
Twilight
Woman.
Zone.
Say again?
Twilight Zone.
Yes. Well, he definitely has that coming up next, and he's writing and directing the Candyman reboot. But
yes.
It's gonna be crazy,
terrifying already. Just on the mention of him being the one to do it.
You're gonna bring him what? So what I'm saying is the Black Woman, the upcoming film director that's probably in middle school or high school right now, that this is the world that she's growing up in, one that has a Jordan Peele making these types of movies. When it's time for her to give us a horror film, dog, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a horror film that is too horrific for me to try to, I don't want to analyze it. I want to get far away from it as possible. Like, that was Hereditary. As much as we love that film, we watched it once.
I didn't see that.
We own it. We watched it once.
We have not rewatched.
We have not rewatched it, dog.
Yeah, I'm gonna catch that. I'm gonna find it online.
Insane.
Mother was like that. Not Mother.
Yeah, I thought Mother was one of them ones, and I don't even want to watch it again because I just want to keep that feel.
Wow.
And what was that other one? That foreign one about the twins? It's called Mama. Not Mama. Oh man.
Oh no, I know what you're talking about. The two little boys. Yeah. I didn't watch that.
That shit is.
That didn't watch
another
that.
one.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Or Serbian film.
Well, I keep hearing about Serbian film.
No, I'm just playing. No, it really is. It'll shake your mind. But
whoa. Look, you got me thinking about it right now. Whoa,
right.
Yo. Whoa. No way.
All right, so rewatchability, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's pretty safe to say this will be one we'll keep watching, right?
I'm waiting for that cam rip right now.
No,
the tricks, Sykes and jokes. Waiting for the screener.
Okay, at least have some respect about yours. I can respect that.
Wait a second, because I think I got lost. Did you say you're waiting for the cam?
That's exactly what he said.
Let me tell you about the cam bootleg version. I tried to watch the Third Underworld, one about the Lycan history.
Oh God!
I tried to watch a bootleg of that, and if anybody's not familiar with that movie, it's 50% in the dark at night with black werewolves. and we all know bootlegs are fine even with the camera until it gets dark, until nighttime.
Right.
Let me tell y'all, when I first started watching Friday, I watched the bootleg, and I didn't know that 1/3 of the screen was cut off. So I didn't know the whole left side. The whole left side of the movie was lost to me, and then it was so much funnier when I finally saw it. I was like, oh!
You was like Smokey funny as hell.
Yeah, you can see Stanley yelling at them, get off his lawn. They're not just looking at them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I might do the canned version with Captain Marvel, though, because, it's bright and she's white. So
Okay.
Oh, moving forward.
Oh, we gotta stop talking about that? Okay. Next thing.
Might work out.
You guys are ridiculous. So, all right.
Only watch cams with Anglos.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
How did we get here?
A lot of white people. A lot of white people in brightness.
I feel like that might be the hashtag for the I only watch cams with Anglos.
Cam hacks.
Oh, God.
Bruce Almighty and above.
Casher, look what you've done. Look what you've done.
I've started a whole new precedent. We're about to break the whole cam algorithm.
All right, so let's give this thing a score. Let's wrap this up, people. Let's give this a score. Everyone has a full point that they can allot to this film. Casher, what say you?
Oh, I thought I was gonna go last.
That means I want to go last.
The built-in rewatchability does a lot for me. I have to, watch it again. So I think I will give it, what is it, a 5, right? Score up to 5.
One
right?
no name.
The full. Oh, yeah, we're doing my no name idea. Oh, that's great. I love when we use my ideas. Yeah, it gets a full no name from me. One full no name. No name. Trademark and copy. Trademark and copy by Castro Industries. No name. The only way to score your film. Do you think thumbs up and thumbs down are played out? Get you a no name.
Get you a no name.
Yo, that Castro Industries. What are we doing? Can of the Unrefined Sophisticates podcast. What say you, sir?
I'm in the same boat. I'm giving it a full.
All right. MGZ.
I'm giving it a full no name.
All right.
That's a definite.
I feel like you're going to be a contrarian. Nick Fave.
He's going to go 0.75.
Right.
I feel like I should. I feel like that's how rating is.
Oh, he's the judge. He's the Russian.
Whoa!
I haven't thought of a movie that I originally wanted to go pay for to see in a while, let alone get my repeat dollar.
Yeah.
So for me, that goes a long way, and I want to see the third time.
Right.
I'm not worn out on it yet, and I've seen it twice, and I want to go see it again.
Well,
I gotta give it a full point just for that alone.
So one other little piece I want to throw in there from my experience was going to the theater, and they had pre-made popcorn bags with hot Cheetos already mixed in with them. My life changed at that moment, so I don't know if that affected how I saw the movie.
Right.
I think it did.
But it definitely amped up just me as a human.
You just rerouted Am's entire lifetime of watching movies. He will only go to that theater.
Yeah.
This is so real, Castro.
It's kind of a real thing now.
Not only that, but you know how typically when you don't finish your popcorn, you throw it on the way out? Yeah, no, it was on my passenger seat in the morning and got ate for breakfast. That was,
listen, for those that may be unaware, maybe you don't follow the Unrefined Sophisticated podcast, you should. It's a great podcast. Ken is a popcorn connoisseur.
Oh, yes.
Indeed.
Oh, yes.
Steeped.
Oh,
it was buttered down.
See?
Oh yeah. Oh,
wait, are we talking just movie popcorn? Or you
just popcorn in general. I could probably
makeup?
live off of popcorn and the various ways that they're created. I'm definitely the amounts of popcorn in my house make no sense.
Yeah, he's got all types of techniques, bro. It's ridiculous.
And gadgets to make it.
Well, all right, here's a quick question because I need to know how your heart beats for popcorn.
What's happening?
How many old school foil Jiffy Pops do you have in your house right now?
Absolutely none, because as a kid, I made a mistake. And I never revisited.
We all know that one. Oh, yeah.
I did not dust myself off. I did
no,
not try
I just
again.
Take that. Sometimes in life, you got to accept
find an
defeat
alternate route
and move along.
Oh my God. So
douse it.
I had nachos with Doritos for the chips. My second time watching it.
No, that's not what we're talking about.
Oh,
you're supposed to give us how many no names.
I was going to get to my score.
Not your snack review. That's another podcast.
I don't know what happened there.
Yeah,
it was a weird moment.
Mind you, Nick, she does this at home. She does this at home.
Are we right now?
Okay, all right.
Thank you, Castro. It's usually me reeling us
not
in.
to jump around.
I know.
Not to jump around.
Appreciate you.
No, I certainly give this a full point. Honestly, after everything we've said about this film, to give it anything less would just be, trying to be a contrarian, the devil's advocate, and all the other ridiculous things people try to do when they critique films. Like, this was an excellent film. It was an excellent film. I had no issues with it. I would defend it.
Oh, great.
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on
So
Facebook.
basically, you're a zealot?
Why you gotta think to posture?
I mean, seriously, I feel threatened.
Well, you guys were on the same team. Everybody gave it a full point in this house, so we're good.
Uh-oh.
Can I throw one other thing in there? And I think for me, this also made it real. So for my birthday, I drove down Highway 101 to Santa Cruz.
Oh,
so when they start shooting those shots, like when he was
did.
standing at a couple of those like I could put myself back right there, even the shot of the beach and knowing like the sound of the waves for a moment, that like in the movies when everything drowned out and like people be super focused on my mama, when that wave started crashing, that sound, it took me back to sitting. I would crawl up in one of the lifeguard joints and just sat there for like 2 hours just listening to the water.
Wow.
And it took me back to that. So there was another piece that
Connected.
Before we wrap, and I'm sorry for the people of this excludes. What was something that you noticed, or things you may have noticed the second time that you didn't, that may have escaped you the first time? Morgan mentioned that there was a rabbit on Jason's lap at the end of the film. I've watched the film twice now and did not notice the rabbit.
I missed the rabbit too.
Yeah,
And he took a rabbit because he was sweating.
he's half tethering.
He's half B.
Young Tevy. Young
Tevy Pendergrass.
Okay, I quit it all.
He called him Teddy Pendergrass. Yo,
Young Teddy Pendergrass with the mask. Young Teddy Pendergrass
He's
with the
in
mask.
I am dead. All right, so now that we have Teddy Pendergrass it down.
With the mask.
With the mask.
with the mask.
With the mask. Young Teddy with the mask.
So, anything else? Yeah.
Oh, I did. You said. Oh, no, the rabbit. The rabbit was what I have.
Okay.
And Can noticed it the first time.
Yeah, I got that the first time of him patting that joint.
Okay. I didn't.
There was a rabbit on Zora's shirt too.
Yeah, there were rabbits a couple of times.
Yes.
The rabbit psychiatrist when young
when they were playing with the.
She was lining them up in the sand, right?
You told me on the out when we got out that
the last one she put down was the white rabbit. There was
and before I forget the
follow the white rabbit symbolism.
Yep.
But, before I forget the 11:11.
Yeah.
We mentioned that was the Bible verse, but also 11 is a twin of itself.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like it's one standing next to each other, so that's
right.
intimating something about doubles.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't notice this the first time, and maybe I was just tripping. That when Jason approached a dude on the beach, that was the tethering for the dude that they watched get loaded in the ambulance, the 1111 dude. Right. I didn't notice that, and I didn't understand the significance of him standing on the beach at that point until later on, the second time watching. I'm like, wait a minute. So you have to kill your tethering first. Well, you got to kill your human first. Then you take your position on the line. So he killed this dude when they first arrived at Santa Cruz. He's been standing on the beach all this time with his arms out.
With a whole coat on.
With a whole coat on, waiting for everyone else to kill their human counterparts to join him.
No, he's the overachiever, because I think he went early. I think he went back.
Definitely to go. He was like,
he's trying to make a good impression. And he jumped the gun. He finished his TPS reports a week early.
Right. Had him Reggie.
So he definitely jumped the gun. Okay, all right. But we are in agreement that you can't join the line to your human skill, right?
Okay, here's big plot point number 4.
There we go.
A, there was something off about the killings, because if Umbre killed that random white guy, sorry, I'm outside.
Mm-hmm.
If Umbre killed that random white guy, then what did his double do? And then who's flying the helicopter?
He said that was easy.
Those are newscasters.
News
organizations that were.
But your double comes up to surface after killing and kills you.
So here's the thing:
who is flying the helicopter?
I think that goes further to the question: Does everyone have a double? And I don't think everyone has a double. I think everyone has a double.
I think they do. I feel like.
Because the people that were actually running that program didn't make doubles of themselves.
With the exception of the heads of the program, right?
But no, I'm saying if you're a nurse or whatever you are, you're not interacting with your double down there. They're not making a double of you.
Doesn't mean they didn't make one of you.
Very small percentage of the entire nation.
No, well, I mean, yeah, the staff.
No, he's just going for the point that not everybody has a double.
Not every single person has a double. Yeah.
And
especially we're talking generations of people that are born. So think about it. Generations of people that are born and keep going on, that pool of people without doubles grows.
And think the news thing, though, that was happening, the news story that popped up when they were in the white family house and they were seeing that it was going on, like it was news. So there's people that probably got up and was doing their thing.
And got out.
Yeah, before the people came to get them.
Yeah.
So they're already,
Well, yeah, because you see the news, you see that live footage of them finding the chain.
Yeah.
Right.
And then being like, I don't know what's about to happen. Kids might want to know.
I can deal with one guy escaping their double, one chopper, but there was 3 choppers.
It's more than 3. One news station.
Castro for one. Yeah.
Right.
Also,
out of a whole nation.
Also, I'm not sure. I don't want to make this point, but guns versus knives. So I mean, guns versus scissors. Guns versus scissors. Bro. You're not killing. You're not
every
you're not out here with
tethered
scissors
is
taking everybody
making
out.
the kill.
Yeah.
So then that's another
not.
plot point.
Yeah.
That's another plot hole. Why scissors, if that's an ineffective weapon to carry out this
It's
mass
not necessarily a plot hole. It had something to do with the way that they were going to carry out their thing.
Right.
I don't think that that's necessarily a plot
It's
hole.
not a plot hole. It's something we haven't
It just, for
understood
us, with a different kind of technology, would immediately be like, why the fuck do you have sharp scissors?
The idea of like the gun to the knife fight, as you said, like that's the flip of.
Right.
Well,
Even
right.
though it's not a knife, but close enough.
The symbolism of sewing, you're tethered, you're together, you snip,
cut that.
you cut
Yeah.
you cut
Great
that,
point. Great
right?
point.
Like the strings of it.
Great point. That's a great point.
Yeah.
In not so many words. That's what he said. That's what I was
He said that's what I was saying.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's the point, Ken.
Would it be wrong or would it be racist if I think because Lupita and Hockey had a hair, if they all had like hot combs instead of scissors?
All right, so this is the moment where you resign from the podcast.
I said
I think this
before
is
it even came out.
This is when you decide.
Oh my god!
Right,
you can wallop somebody with a hot comb. Old one.
I'm mad about this.
You can take somebody out.
Right. Because that came from cast iron steel.
That's CJ. That's a CJ Walker originality.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so we've had a great time. Thank you for listening. We
left my dragon egg down in Essos. Left my dragon egg down in Essos. Left my dragon egg down in Essos. I got to get it. Got to get it. Left my dragon egg down in Essos. Left my dragon egg down in Essos. Left my dragon egg down in Essos. I got to get it. Got to get it.
Thank you. All right.
All the fanfare.
All right, y'all. Follow us on all the socials. We will catch you in the next review.
Holler.
No name out.
Thank you for listening to another episode of A Podcast That Has No Name. If this is your first time checking us out, please make sure you subscribe. We're on Apple Music, Spotify, Google, all the places where you listen to podcasts. And follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Podcast Has No Name. Deuces.
Subscribe, please. Click and comment.